friends. Today we are going to talk about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is nothing but stimulation of human intelligence progress by machine. Nowadays, all big companies are using AI in their own way, especially collecting data and putting in your favorite item in front of you. We are also using so many domestic items which are being regulated by AI. But AI is progressing so fast. And to survive in this new era, one has to be prepared for that. Today, we are going to talk about challenges of artificial intelligence and how to prepare of life 5.0. We enter the era of interplanetary life, virtual life, and synthetics beginning. Within a world where everything is liquid and digitalized, physically and biologically, and bifurcated. Today, we have our four speakers from around the world. First, I would like to introduce Dr. Christian W. Menu. He is from Argentina. Dr. Menu is international speaker of Industrial Revolution 5, and he is a professor of a postgraduate university in Argentina. He is the founder president of Space Grid Foundation and VP of Corporation Future 5.0 Columbia. Dr. Menu, I will request you to kindly introduce yourself and tell us what do you think that what we are going to learn in 2030, and obviously thanks to AI. Dr. Menu.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you so much for the invitation for this program. And to give you a little bit introduction about me, well, you said almost my work, so I'm going to directly with your question. I think that the challenges that we are going to face in the coming years are too many, but especially in terms not in the way that we can consume at the media when we listen or see about artificial intelligence. That obviously nowadays we only can see if artificial intelligence is going to replace us, or how in the economical way artificial intelligence is going to impact our lives. I think that the first challenge that we have to work is to focus in don't lose ourselves in terms of lose the connection between humans and still humans is our first challenge that we have to face in the coming years. We are seeing artificial intelligence and robotics everywhere, and sooner or later, in less than 10 years, we are going to see artificial intelligence everywhere in terms of 99% of all surround us is going to have artificial intelligence through the sensors and through IoT, and only 1% of the artificial intelligence is going to have a body. When we say a robot with consciousness, or a robot who can take decisions, or who can think, so in that way, I think that we need to take care of our connection between humans and where our hearts, because in our hearts is the key for the next industrial revolutions, in terms of that we need to focus the love intelligence, for example. Emotional intelligence is too important nowadays. Mental resilience, those skills or those characteristics are so important to work for the next challenges that we are going to face. Nowadays, we are seeing that our lives is through a video, or through Zoom, or through any technological device. But the thing is that we are losing our connection in terms of touching each other. The importance of the human heart. Uh, Too many religions mention that the heart is too important. And nowadays, in the last 5 years especially, I realized that the heart has 40,000 neurons. The neurons are different if you compare with the neurons that you have in your brain, but those neurons can feel, can predict the future, and that is so important for the challenges that we are going to face in the coming years. That I truly believe if we connect with our hearts, if we connect with the intuition that we have in our intelligence in our hearts, we are going to be quite prepared for the things that we are going to see. And you mentioned some virtual life, interplanetary era, uh, synthetic beings. So those challenges are going to be between us and surround us in the next 10 and 15 years from now on. So the most important challenge, in my opinion, is first, don't lose with ourselves. Second, is to connect more between people, because the connectivity should be between humans, and artificial intelligence is going to be a tool for the people who actually are going to use artificial intelligence to enhance the skills for work or for living. But if we don't work with ourselves and we use artificial intelligence to our God, we are going to lose ourselves, and we are going to be slaves of artificial intelligence if we don't think that artificial intelligence is going to be a tool, but we need to be strong and use the tool to become stronger. So those are my thoughts and my opinion about the challenges for the next 10 or 15 years regarding artificial intelligence.
Thank you, Mr. Menu. Now I would like to introduce you with Mr. Javier Furonese from Spain. Mr. Javier,
Hi, how are you?
hi. Good. Thanks for joining us. He's joined from Madrid, I guess. And he is the CEO. He's the founder CEO of Voice Human. Voice Human is the one of the first company is not only in Latin America and also Europe. They work with digital human and the humanization in AI, a new form of the virtual workers that they are doing. I would request Mr. Javier to tell more about your company, your work, and obviously what are the challenges we are going to face by 2030. Mr.
Basically,
Javier.
we're a company that works with digital humans that basically are avatars connect with artificial intelligence. We connect with Google conversational platform. In the past, I was creating chatbots, but actually, for me, the most important is the humanization of the artificial intelligence, because in the future is not, I don't know how is the future about artificial intelligence, is how is the connection with the human. For me, it's really important this word is how the future of the humans is not go to the digital if or artificial intelligence if not artificial intelligence go to humans. We are the last generation that not collaborate with artificial intelligence. This is really important because actually the system is basically physical. The future is digital. Is the connection between digital and physical. From voice humans, we want to say that artificial intelligence with that kind of collaboration and that affected areas, because for me the business, health, education, service, product and politics is the same. It's how is the face of the artificial intelligence. We work with strange things that is digital morphopsychology, that is passionate, is how the face of the people create the sensations, create everything. For me, 2030 en español, 2030, is a future with the processing surprise and humans is obvious. For a point of view, the big challenge is basically the UI and UX. Why? Because it's not the artificial intelligence, it's how the artificial intelligence is relational with the humans. No, this is for me so important. No, what is the future of, for example, the brands are male or are female. The boys, Coca-Cola, for example, is male or female. I don't know. For me, it's really important to know that this is the digital morphopsychology. You know. We work in this aspect from the voice humans and the digital morphopsychology. For me, it's really interesting because it create an expertise. But now, we are sophisticated weapons to translate brand values. For me, it's really interesting how the artificial intelligence create the future of the brand as well, create the future of the humans, create the future of the health. But everything is connecting with the humanization of artificial intelligence. You know? For me, it's the cyber human, cyber brands. This is the most important. And how is the next step for that? Basically, for the humans, is touchless and screenless conversation collaboration is really important. For example, actually, we are connecting with screens, but the future is probably a glass. For me, it's really interesting that it's screenless, touchless. We are creating the first lifts in Spain that just with a voice it's hello. I want to go to the first. This touchless. It's the new technology. You know? External amplification of human knowledge. Why amplification on interconnected biometric technologies? For me, this is the best business because everything is everything actually is the biometric control of everything. This is incredible for me. You have a key. What is a key? You have a key of iron. Yes, porque I have a key like in Edad Media, you know. It's like I have to open a door with a key. When I have a biometric, the future is basically the biometric control. No, we're working on that, and basically the future of all technologies is incredible because the law, for example, in a brand is disappear. The web, the law is the past. So it's incredible because the future is totally conversational and it's biometric. Is totally different. For me, it's a passionate thought. No. The question of the future is the real time. The real time. Real time is the basic of everything because in that moment we are hyper connected, and this is the most important for the strategies for everything. No, because actually we are working in a world physical and digital, and the connection is physical. We are working in physical world. Physical is the connection of everything. For me, this is really important. I think that the future is cyber totally. The mobile, for example, are going to disappear totally, and we are connecting with the future, no? And the future of banking, e-health, and everything is totally conversational. Totally conversational. Hola?
Thank you, Hamlet. Thank you. Here I will come back to you. And now I am going to introduce with you Mr. Anthony Fucella. He's a British, he is a British philosopher and a science fiction writer. He's a man with visionary. His book Quantum Chronicles in the 11 Dimensions important Imperial Planet, Silent Earth, and the Mars Time Project, and so many. Am I right, Mr. Anthony?
Yes, indeed.
These,
And many to
these
come.
are
And many
book,
to come.
yes, these are the book which is not only bestseller. These are the books which is it's kept in the various library in various university, including Oxford University and Imperial College of London. Mr. Anthony, I would like to know, according to you, what will be the challenges? And if you ask, give us some pieces from your books also, that would be very interesting.
Well, I mean, artificial intelligence has revolutionized the world, and it's a question of adapting and knowledge, understanding how the future could turn out in terms of this robotic revolution. I mean, artificial intelligence is the way forward. There is no doubt about that. We can see that, for example, within NASA. For example, if we're going to colonize Mars, it will be the machines that take us there. It will be the robots that take us to Mars. Now, for example, once we get to Mars, Mars is subjected to enormous amounts of cosmic radiation as a result of a lack of a magnetosphere. Mars lacks a magnetosphere as a result of the slowing of its magnetic core. As a result of the slowing of its magnetic core, excuse me, and also multiple asteroid strikes as well, its magnetosphere was wiped out. So its iron core, the slowing of its iron core and so forth, along with multiple asteroid strikes, has eliminated Mars's magnetosphere. And also solar winds has stripped the atmosphere out. So Mars is subjected to enormous amounts of cosmic radiation, gamma rays, ultraviolet light, and so forth, lethal cosmic radiation. So it would be logical for us as humans, once we reach Mars, to have artificial intelligence machines working on the red planet, colonizing the planet, building, shall we say, our potential future on that red planet will come down to artificial intelligence. It will be the machines that take us there and help us overcome some of these problems. Obviously, humans, once we're on Mars, we can be housed in domes, and these domes are built from special alloys that repel lethal cosmic radiation. These domes will be built from special alloys that repel lethal cosmic radiation, so we can be safely housed in these domes and have the machines working on the red planet because of this problem of cosmic radiation. As I said, Mars lacks a magnetosphere because of the slowing of its magnetic core and multiple asteroid strikes. So the atmosphere was stripped out because of this process, because of solar winds. So it'd be logical now to have AI working on the red planet for us now to colonize Mars and so forth. So artificial intelligence is something that is fundamental, not only for our life here, but also to colonize and so forth. Now we can see a remarkable explosion within the medical sphere. Algebraic topology now, through science, allows us to scan neurons in the brain in ways never before through algebraic topology, artificial intelligence. So we can see now within the domain, within this sphere, within the medical sphere, an endless potential that can take us to remarkable levels in terms of promoting human longevity and just well-being and health to mankind. So we can see a remarkable explosion within the medical sphere with an artificial intelligence. And I think algebraic topology is one of those main things at the moment. And not to mention that, and this is within my science fiction books, for example, the whole notion of actually hacking into the human brain. In the future, we will have nanochips implanted into the brain, which are able to register all encephalic activity. Nanochip implanted into the cerebral cortex. Most of the brain is made up of cortex. Most of the human brain is made up of cortex. Having a nanochip implanted into the cerebral cortex, into the brain, which has the capacity to extract all encephalic activity, electrical and chemical activity within the brain, and through special signals, collect that information and download it into a giant computer for government consumption. Now, is there any logical way to see that this could actually happen, scientifically speaking? Yes, it can happen. Hacking into the human brain requires decoding the logic of neurons, the mechanics of neural networks, the quantum mechanics, the subatomic interplay within the actual brain itself. So hacking into the brain requires decoding the logic of neurons, the mechanics of neurons. And we are now progressing towards this point where we can literally scan a human brain. So artificial intelligence is, without any doubt, the way forward. is the way forward, no question about it. If we're going to terraform Mars, for NASA, within the medical sphere, and so forth.
So my next question to you, that how should we prepare for the challenges of AI brings? How should we prepare?
How we prepare for the challenges, this all comes down to one's own individual ability to be able to collate information, extract the information, i.e. we live in a world now that is totally governed by artificial intelligence. This robotic revolution, we are currently living in a robotic revolution. We now depend on artificial intelligence. It's a necessity for our very existence within the medical sphere, within every sphere of endeavor, including the stock market and so forth. Everything is generated by mathematical algorithms, bits of programming logic that govern the mathematical pathways of a robotic mind. Everything is based on mathematical algorithms. We live in a computer world. So in terms of preparing for a potential future as a science fiction author, what you need to do is research, be aware of what's happening. And as you are aware of what's happening, psychologically, you will be prepared for the potential future. It's all about preparing one's mind. And the only way you can prepare is by extracting knowledge. Knowledge is God. By extracting knowledge, researching, you will then carve away logically, mathematically, of a potential future. What I do within my books of science fiction, like nobody else on the planet, is to see into the future by just looking at the information that is available, collecting that information, and then projecting it into the future, and to say, this is where we're going to get. So psychologically, you will be prepared. So to be prepared, you must be aware. To be aware, you need knowledge.
Thank you, thanks, Mr. Anthony. I will come back to you again. I would like to ask the same question to Mr. Javier. How should we prepare for 2030?
Well, it's really interesting. The question is about the information of artificial intelligence, the future of information. Basically, I work. For me, the future of digitalization is based on digital conceptual integration of artificial intelligence. The question is, it's really interesting how the future is basically the information. In the past, for everything, it was basically information. In the future of artificial intelligence is basically a relationship with artificial. Where basically, for me, the important is basically the preparation of current interface. Because actually we work in digital world with app, website, and etc. And the future for me is the intuitive, touchless, and conversational systems. No, this is incredible because the health and the rest of the generally speaking, they're going to happen with the whole industry is basically a conversational computers. For example, actually we are working with computer with touching, and the future is basically conversational and creating that. No, we are. I assume that the touchless and screenless is the new relationship with the technology in the future. For me, is really that important. The collaboration with artificial intelligence is for me really important in the design of the human-machine interface. Because I don't know how is the future of artificial intelligence. The question is how is the connection with that, and the humanity is basically the future is just simple like touch a mobile. For me, is the great deal, the desafío, ¿no? Desafío en español. Humans have to prepare for the change. The change are going to be the given, but empathic, easy, and usable usability. For me, is the future of the humanity is the all that we create. Everything is simple, like a mobile, and the question is political. For example, complicate. Everything is complicated. Learning is complicated. The future with artificial intelligence, digital humans, it's incredible because, for example, we are going to to learn, for example, with the Jesucristo or the most important people in the past, we are regenerate that people for the for learning that. No, for me, it's really important. No, that question.
Thanks, Javier. Now I will ask the same question to Krish. Tell me, according to you, how should we prepare?
Well, I remember that when I was a child, I usually got mad because my memory wasn't good because I was so hyperactive guy, right? And my attention wasn't good because of that. And some professor says, no, this guy is not going to be nobody because he doesn't remember the things that we are talking. And I will suffer a lot because of that. But now I'm
Mhm.
seeing that my intelligence, my real intelligence, is not my memory. My memory never was my power. My heart was my power, and now I know that the power in in the next coming years and 21st century, we are going to use our intelligence in our hearts, not the intelligence that we usually use from the past. That was uh, the brain of our head. And now I'm seeing that the potential of our hearts is going to guide us for this future, because memory is going to be held by artificial intelligence. Nowadays we can see in our daily lives that we use our cell phones to go for the answers. For example, you want to know a date or you want to remember something. You don't use your brain. You use your cell phone. And for the young generations, they are going to use more than this. And as Javier said, something really important, that in the near future, we are not going to use cell phones. We are going to use a little bit button in our part of the brain, and we are going to click in an instant. We are going to have everything. Maybe the implants that Elon Musk or the Chinese are nowadays are offering are going to be the knowledge. But the real situation here is that if we don't use our emotional intelligence, our resilience as humans, our uh, emotional intelligence in general, we are going to face a tremendous problems in our lives, because everything is going to become digital. Everything is going to become liquid, even the knowledge. If we compare 100 years ago, the knowledge duplicates in 32 years, and now the knowledge duplicates per 3 months, and in 2030 the knowledge is going to duplicate in 12 hours. So the knowledge is not the problem here. The knowledge, artificial intelligence is going to provide us the knowledge, but we are going to provide for the evolution of the humankind the questions. And for that, we need to think, we need to meditate, we need to concentrate in ourselves as human beings, because the key to become superhumans is not to become a robot or become an artificial intelligence. The key is to have a mix, because artificial intelligence should be or must be an enhancement of humans. But for that, we need to prepare as humans, because artificial intelligence, they are preparing for become humans, but we are preparing for become artificial intelligence. So that is the problem here,
This
and
is the problem.
we need to we need to figure it out the way to become humans more than ever. And for that, it's too important to make the questions, because for the answer is going to give the artificial intelligence those answers.
Uh, that means you are going to say that I need not to learn Spanish as of now, because a chip is coming and you will fit it into my mind, and then I can
Exactly.
speak Spanish very well, right?
Right. So it's not necessarily your memory. You need to use your heart. That's it.
That's it. Very good. So the school system will be go out?
Sorry?
I'm asking, the school system will be go out from our school system. We have to go to school, universities, and everything. Any educational institute, it will be there, or everything will be fitted when the child born.
Well, I think that the knowledge as we consume nowadays is going to be transformed in sense that you are going to subscribe to download the knowledge, because it's not necessary to repeat or use the memory to become intelligence, because the real intelligence is use artificial intelligence, but use our potential as humans to become superhumans. And that's the key for the future. We are going to use more than ever the information from Google or from platforms that artificial intelligence is going to be involved. Nowadays, if you want to see the improvements of artificial intelligence, you can see on Netflix, for example, how the algorithms can read your desires, your dislikes. So in the nearest future that we are going to see, maybe in 4 years, not in 2030, because we are going to see in less time, that artificial intelligence is going to provide us the information of our blood, for example, of our emotions. But the problem is if we don't think about the process of life, if we don't analyze the situation, and we don't have the questions for this future, artificial intelligence is going to resolve everything, and we are going to be like babies without doing anything. And the problem is we need to become scientists of technology for this near future, because we need to analyze. Alvin Toffler once said, in the 21st century, we are going to learn and forget at the same time. And that is the key for this world that we are facing nowadays.
Do you think that we will reach to the technology singularity? And if it is yes, then why?
I think singularity is closer than ever. And if you compare, for example, the supercomputers, quantum computers, and you join with artificial intelligence, then maybe we can see a consciousness into the machines. Some people say that maybe, like Ray Kurzweil says, that in 2035 we are going to see the singularity. Others are not so optimistic. They say, for example, Michio Kaku says in 100 years we are going to see an artificial intelligence with consciousness. Other authors or scientists predict that never is going to happen that. For example, one guy the other day says, we don't think that artificial intelligence is going to have own consciousness, because our consciousness is in our microtubules of our neurons, and it's connected with the source. That source connects everything. And this guy was a Nobel Award, Rochelle Penrose. For him, this opportunity to see robots with consciousness is going to be impossible, because consciousness is in our microtubules of our neurons, and it's impossible to replicate that into a virtual brain. But if you take a look at the thing that Elon Musk says, he says that in 5 years, maybe Google is going to have a singularity into their company, because they have already a supercomputer, and we know that everything is mathematical, everything is math. So that is the reason. That's why, if now we have a brain that can process per second 3 exaflop of information, and accordingly what the director of the company NVIDIA says, that in 3 years we are going to have supercomputers with the possibility to process per second 20 exaflop of information, we are so closer to see how a machine is going to replicate the consciousness, because they are going to have the key. If one supercomputer nowadays can calculate in 5 seconds any problem of life, you can imagine how hard it is for this supercomputer to analyze this super problem of how to create an artificial consciousness. So it's not going to be any problem, because everything can replicate, everything can be work when you have the information, and you know that everything is math, everything can be or become an equation of everything. That's why I truly believe that singularity is going to be before 2035, and that's why it's important more than ever to work in ourselves.
Thanks, Tess. Thanks for your inputs. I will come back to you. Javier, the same question to you. Do you think that we will reach the technological singularity? If yes, according to you, if it is yes, and why?
For me, the question is simple. We are to be cyber, totally cyber. Amplification, technology, integration, our minds and physical bodies. Basically, it's a transhuman probably future, no? This is obvious. Mobile disappear and integrate into, for example, contact legs or biometric technologies and a lot of things of facial recognition and the rest. In fact, already then is the question is philosophy of Greek thinkers are basically, for example, Platon and the rest of the people is basically the question is probably in the future, what is the origin? Because we are be able to create basically an artificial world, and the question is, are we living in that artificial world? Probably we are living that. I believe that. And the question is, San Agustin or Platon or the rest of the people on the thinkers are basically stupid, because we are creating the future. Actually, this is the best moment in the human being, in the human future, because probably this is artificial creating a world, and I believe in that totally. For me, it's really interesting that, because basically the future is just that. The future is the question of the no. For me, the interesting is not how the artificial intelligence is creating the future, etc. The question is, we're living in a game. For me, is the best question, no?
Nice. Thanks, Javier. I will come back to you. Mr. Anthony, the same question I will ask, but in some other way. Where do you think that people will land after 30 years? And especially from you, I want to know about, the cultural side, like, that people who are associated with, like artists, singer, and performing artists. So where these people will be placed? Is they exist, or they will do something else?
Sorry, I'm having some turbulence with the internet. Can you repeat the question?
Okay.
I wanted to mention something a little bit about consciousness. Dr. Chris had mentioned about the whole notion of consciousness. I wanted to continue from there, if I may, before. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, we're talking about robotic consciousness and the potential of machines becoming super intelligent and taking over. Okay. Now, what is consciousness universally? Because this is now connecting with Dr. Chris. What is consciousness? Consciousness is a quantum process. Consciousness is a quantum process. We have to go into quantum mechanics, which is all to do with subatomic particles, strings of light that oscillate. Everything within the universe oscillates at a certain frequency. Strings of light that oscillate, okay? So consciousness is actually a quantum process. For example, the eye forms an image of the outer world on the retina, which is at the back of the eye, and then transfers the information to the brain. And we have this feedback loop process. So quantum physics is the only way in a scientific dimension to explain consciousness, whether mechanical or biological. So consciousness is the continual creation of models, feedback loops in the brain that describe a model of our place in space and time. Space and time is an electromagnetic field, 0-point electromagnetic quanta. It's an electromagnetic field. We are bound by time and space. So consciousness is nothing but a quantum process, whether mechanical or biological. Okay? With me? So going back to this whole notion, I believe that machines will develop a self-awareness, an understanding, a robotic consciousness as a result of the complexity of the system itself. As a result of the complexity of the system itself, a machine will develop a form of robotic consciousness, a self-awareness. This is all induced as a result of transistors that make up a prototype form of consciousness. The transistors that make up a prototype form of consciousness, the mathematical algorithms that govern the mathematical pathways of a robotic mind. But it goes beyond the mechanisms of algorithms. For me, consciousness universally has to be described in theological terms. We can talk about quantum mechanics, subatomic particles, strings of light that oscillate, and so forth. But fundamentally speaking, consciousness and all the mechanisms of life themselves, whether mechanical or biological, have to be connected to theology. There has to be a greater power beyond time and space, infinite in time and space, outside of the sphere of time and space, that exists eternally, that sparks consciousness, thought, and so forth, whether it be an algorithm, whether it be a neuron.
Thank you.
My dear, I belong on another planet, believe me. So consciousness is the continual creation of models, feedback loops in the brain that describe a model of space and time. Space and time is an electromagnetic field. It's a quantum process, but that is only for scientists to a certain level. It goes into theology. There has to be something greater that transcends time and space, that sparks mechanical consciousness and human consciousness. It goes beyond the algorithm. It goes beyond the neuron. This is a new philosophy. Now, I'll take it to this, if I may. Okay. What if machines go wrong in the future? What if machines go wrong in the future? Now, we need some philosophy here. In the future, we talk about super intelligent machines, the potential that machines could take over and render man obsolete. Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking spoke about the potential of human extinction as a result of machines developing a form of robotic consciousness, self-awareness, and super intelligence, and so forth, eliminating mankind altogether. So basically, man becomes obsolete. Now, we have to ask this question: what if machines can develop an abnormality within the complexity of the system itself? Let me explain. This requires philosophy. What if a machine can develop an abnormality, go wrong? Now, what is evil? Evil outside of man doesn't exist. There is no such thing as evil. Evil outside of man doesn't exist. If we talk about earthquakes, it's to do with seismic activity, tectonic activity, lightning strikes, atmospheric discharges, and snow, and so forth. Evil only exists within the soul of man as an acting potential within the reptilian complex. There is a region of the brain known as the reptilian complex. When you have too much electrical and chemical activity in this region of the brain, it brings out the worst in man, and then man does evil acts. So on a parallel scale, what if a machine could develop within the complexity of the system itself an abnormality within those algorithms, if you like, and then go out and do evil acts? So the danger of artificial intelligence goes into metaphysics. So as I've explained, evil doesn't exist outside of man. It only exists within the mind, within the reptilian complex. Too much electrical and chemical activity within the region of that brain, known as the reptilian complex, brings out the worst in man. So what if we can then, on a parallel scale, see that a machine somehow metaphysically develops an abnormality within its complex system and then goes out and kills? So dangerous machines in the future. This is a very important philosophical concept, groundbreaking. Okay, my next point is this, from my book, Androids and the Gods. Do androids dream of the gods? I write about machines that not only develop a self-awareness, a form of robotic consciousness, a quantum process, but actually develop something even beyond that. They develop a sense of God. Could a machine ever reach a point where it develops a sense of, why am I here? What am I? Does God exist? And then we need a new philosophy, because if a machine can develop within itself an understanding of what am I, God must exist, we need a new philosophy to explain the nature of the mind, the nature of the soul, which is a nexus of electromagnetic forces that cannot be destroyed because of the first law of thermodynamics, incidentally. And then we need a new philosophy to explain what it means to be human. And then we have to create a new philosophy. Sweetheart, I'm one of the greatest philosophers the world has ever seen. Too deep, maybe. Too deep. That's my trouble. Too deep. One of the greatest of all time. This whole concept is groundbreaking, because if you can picture a machine developing a sense of God exists, what am I? Then what are we? Then you need to redefine what it means to be human. It means that you need a new philosophy to describe metaphysics, the nature of the mind, the nature of the soul, which is a nexus of electromagnetic forces, and so forth. And then we create a new philosophy, a new understanding of what it means to be human, what it means to exist. I blur the line between AI and robotics like no one ever before. And then we create a new philosophy, a new understanding of what it means to be human.
I got it. Now, my question was another question. This is something different. How people will place after after say 30 years? Is there the artist will exist? If the singers will exist? If the performing artist exists? Actors exist? How? I mean, the total art and culture.
Yeah. Okay, that's a very good point. What I would say to this is this, very, very significantly, that as a result of singularity, as a result of robotic consciousness, machines developing a self-awareness and so forth, I think these things will be rendered semi-obsolete. I think we're talking about a total revolution, robotic revolution. As I said, Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking spoke about the dangers of this robotic revolution, super intelligence, superseding the human mind and so forth. So I believe that there is definitely, without any doubt, a potentiality to see that machines will overtake. And as a result of overtaking the human condition, if you like, all these things will then become nothingness. So I see a future of AI totally taking over. And a very important point I want to make here as well is that the people, the elite that control, that are behind the whole notion of artificial intelligence, if artificial intelligence is in the right hands, this could be somewhat shielded. But if artificial intelligence is in the wrong hands, in the wrong hands of people, for example, we talk about the Illuminati and so forth, then artificial intelligence will be used to scan people's brains, like they're doing through, as I've mentioned, the nanochip in the future, hacking into the brains, decoding the logic of neurons and so forth. So it all comes down to also who is in control of this whole branch of artificial intelligence. If it's in the wrong hands, we can see a world where we're nothing but organic robots, we become nothing but machines, and we're totally mind controlled through nanochips in the cerebral cortex. The brain is made up of cortex predominantly, and through signals extracted, all encephalic activity, all electrical and chemical activity of the brain, neurons and so forth, and then downloading it for government consumption. They're doing this, by the way, at the moment with our phones and so forth. This is what is actually happening, fundamentally speaking. So in the wrong hands, artificial intelligence is all to do with mind control and potentially the extinction of mankind.
Thanks, Anthony. I will come back to you. Javier, I have the last question for you. We will still be human in next 30 years, or will we become machine?
I think the future is totally a connection. For me, important is basically how the future is. For me, it's really important the longevity and all the question about the future is basically all the culture of the rest of the things in the future is how the human the question is with the deed, no, longevity and perpetuated health will change. The future is incredible because future organs, smart beds, advanced pronunciation. We shake the future is the religion disappear, the moral of the humanity are based in beliefs that basically and question that is not relevant for the future. No, and for me it's really interesting because but basically the economy and the industry 5.0 we're currently assisting a point health to the mass remoted. I don't know to say the future of power of social force. I don't say how the future of the humanity, but the interesting of that is that it's really incredible how everything are going to change. Incredible. It's not the question of why artificial intelligence connecting with me. The question is basically that the connection with the machine is basically incredible because we are going to a new future. I am a generation of gaming plays, gaming videojuegos, no? This is incredible because the future is basically we are living in an incredible world when videojuegos are the future. Basically, I believe totally that we're living in a video world and we're living in a reality that is a fake. For me, it's a philosophical important world because the question is this is not a reality. This is just a fake. And the question is the future is how we are going to create the future of the humanity. It's not the past, it's the future. This is the punto cero. It's the point out. The question is, we are going to create the future. Actually, we are prepared for that. And the most incredible thing is that all that you see is fake. It's not really. It's not a reality. It's just a video game. For me, the future are going that.
Thanks, Javier. I will, Chris, again, tell me, where do you be after 30 years? Will be human or will be machine?
Well, that question is central, and I truly believe that we are going to see how nanochips and the technology that Elon Musk and Chinese and Russians and Japanese are going to provide to the humanity is going to split the humanity in two. One is going to be transhumans, that group of people that are going to have the possibility to have the possibility to download information instantly, and they are going to have the power of God in terms of knowledge and the possibility to enhance with this technology. And the other side is going to be normal humans like us, that we at least use the cell phones to enhance our intelligence, but we are not using achieving our brains to enhance our mentality or our brains. So we are going to see this scenario in the coming years, that humans and superhumans are going to be the next problem that the humanity is going to face. And at the same time, we are going to see how artificial intelligence is going to be self-aware, and that is going to give us a third group of people. Synthetic humans are going to be the third group. So you are going to have humans, superhumans, and artificial intelligence are three groups. And without mention something not less important, that nowadays we are seeing a fourth group of people in terms of trans species, the people who doesn't feel that they are humans. They feel like they are dogs or cats, but they don't feel like humans. So the future is going to provide us four group of people, four group of different concept of see the reality or see the human rights, if you want to put in some way. And I see this scenario as problematic scenario if we don't start moving forward from now on, because nowadays our governments, in terms of Latin America, for example, they don't think about this possible scenario in the coming 10 or 20 years, because they are only focused on how we can resolve the pandemic situation and with the problems that we face from 20 or 30 years ago in relation with economical and educational problems. So they don't have the time or the knowledge about this possible scenario that money is not going to be the problem. The problem is going to be the biological thing. Is going to be the key for the coming 10 or 20 years. So how we are going to continue as humans is going to depend on your sea of seed lies, or see the possible scenarios, or how do you can think about the possible things that you are going to live, because I totally believe that the most important problem is not artificial intelligence, it's not the weather, it's not the economical problem. The most important problem that we are going to face is biological thing that we are going to face. That, for example, the myth on CRISPR-Cas9 is going to provide us this kind of superhumans, but not too many are going to have the possibility to design his own babies, as some people are going to be able to do it. And that is going to be a tremendous challenge for all of us, because we think that we are humans because everyone is human. Even if you don't have money, or if you have money, all of us, we are humans. But when you include technology into the conversation, and when you include the possibility to put, I don't know, something in your body and become an extension of human. For example, someone who has something in the brain to read the colors, or someone who puts an extra earrings to listen another things, vibrations or other things, or someone who can put the camera into the eye. Those kind of things makes us think that the human as a concept, as we usually see humans, is not going to be the same in the next 10 or 20 or 40 years. The situation is how we are going to survive with all these transformations in our society. So that is the question for the coming years.
So that is geologically, genetically modified, organism, that genetically modified everything will be more common.
Yeah. So this is going to be common, and it's not going to be for everyone. Maybe, for example, the thing that you can travel to the space nowadays is only for rich, but maybe in the future, yes, everyone is going to be able to travel to the space. At the beginning, only the rich are going to be able to travel to the space. And this is the same scenario in terms of how you are going to modify your body, or how you are going to enhance as human, if you don't have the money to pay for it. So that is the main question here. How we are going to survive, because nowadays you see richest countries and poor countries, and they fight each other, or they ignore, or they try to connect, but it's impossible because you have different mindset, you have a different economical life. That's why it's so difficult to combine a rich country and a poor country. And you can imagine this situation. Yeah, we are living this situation, but we don't think in the way that in terms of 20 or 30 years, the richest countries are going to have this power of enhance the skills of the brain, they enhance their bodies with the technology, and the poor countries, they are not going to have the money and nevertheless, then even going to have the possibility to enhance with the technology. So they are going to become like a cockroach, you know, and they are become like gods. So the problem is how we are going to combine this reality of the super humans or the richest countries, how they are going to include the poorest countries into this revolution that we are going to see in the coming years, or how the superhumans are going to adapt with the regular humans. Because why? Because we are talking about this an enhancement with technology. And let me put an example before to finish. For example, now we are talking, right? Because everyone can talk. The thing is, some can speak in Spanish, and other people can speak in English, other can speak in 2 or 3 languages. So it's not a problem to speak in languages. Everyone can speak, use their mouth. But the thing is, when you are going to see the possibility to talk without talking, and you are going to see that some group of the humanity is going to be able to talk without talking, in that case, you are going to be discriminate for those who can speak without speaking.
I got your point.
So that's what, yeah, that's why is tremendous challenges how technology is going to include in a regular day or into the humanity when you want to become superhuman, or want to become or you want to be or remain to be human. Because the thing is, the concept of humanity is going to change, but the problem is how we are going to adapt all those new concepts for this new transformation that we are going to face.
Again, we are the same 200 years or 300 years ago, the old concept that is coming back to the world, or the world is adopting the new concept. That is the most challenges, according to you.
Right.
Am I right? Right.
Right.
In this matter, I would like to ask Anthony, what is your philosophy on this? What Chris just said.
Sorry, I had some internet interruption, so the Wi-Fi. I didn't actually catch what Chris said. So can you reiterate what he said, please?
He was talking that the technology which we are going to get in coming future, that mostly adopted by the people who are in developed country, who are the rich country. Developed countries, rich countries will get the technology first. And there will be discrimination between poor country and rich country, and rich country can use this technology to dominate the poor countries again. So our question is,
we're talking in terms of politics here. We're going into the
no,
sphere of politics.
Yes, no.
It comes down to politics, because it all comes down to the controlling powers. I've already spoken about the elite.
Yes, and my question, just a minute, and including that, my question is, there is a talking that there will be one world. There will be one world, and one group will regulate the world. So what is your philosophy according to that?
Well, my philosophy is one, that we, the elite that control our mobiles and so forth, electromagnetic radiation with HAARP. With HAARP, we can now change the molecular structure of the ionosphere through HAARP, electromagnetic radiation. Okay, we can actually change the molecular structure of the ionosphere, and through electromagnetic radiation, we can actually create adverse weather effects and so forth. So through technology and artificial intelligence, as I mentioned before, if it's in the hands of the wrong people, we can see, as you have mentioned before, a one-world government, a unification of people, and to create basically a world of organic robots, which is what fundamentally is actually evolving within my science fiction and my predictions of the future. There's no question about it. So artificial intelligence in the right hands has a capacity to reach incredible levels in terms of human longevity, in terms of greater advancements scientifically, shall we say cosmologically, in terms of promoting longevity and health within human beings. There's no question about that at all. But if AI is in the hands of the wrong people, it will be used to control our minds, as I've mentioned before. Hacking into the brain requires decoding the logic of neurons, the mechanics of neurons. We go into subatomic particles, strings of light that oscillate. We go into quantum mechanics. So looking at the mechanisms of a neuron, in fact, within algebraic topology, we already can scan the neuron and understand how the neuron operates, neural networks. So this is all to do with building up towards hacking into the human brain, which we will do through artificial intelligence, through the nanochip, implanting the nanochip into the cerebral cortex. Most of the brain is cortex. And through this nanochip, you will be able to extract all encephalic activity within the brain, electrical and chemical, and then through signals, collect the information and store it for government consumption. We are now heading towards a revolution within quantum physics, within neuroscience, to actually break into the neuron of the brain to understand what we think, how we feel, and so forth. And we can see that we are evolving towards this through artificial intelligence. We can see that with algebraic topology, as I've mentioned. And this will only progress as we go further and further and further. So artificial intelligence in the wrong hands is a very dangerous thing. In the right hands, it has endless potentials, as I have mentioned about terraforming Mars. If we're going to reach Mars, it will be the machines that take us there. If we're going to colonize Mars, it will be the machines that help us colonize because of the cosmic radiation. As I have mentioned, Mars lacks a magnetosphere as a result of multiple asteroid strikes, not to mention the slowing of its magnetic core. The slowing of its magnetic core, its iron core. And solar winds strip the atmosphere, completely. Okay, solar winds strip the atmosphere completely. So it's all to do with multiple asteroid strikes and the slowing of its magnetic core, its iron core. That's why Mars lacks a magnetic sphere. So that Mars is subjected to enormous amounts of highly cosmic radiation, lethal cosmic radiation, gamma rays, ultraviolet light, and so forth. We're talking about very, very dangerous radiation, lethal to mankind. So it'd be logical for artificial intelligence to go to Mars to help us colonize. Once we build domes on Mars that are built from special alloys that repel radiation, and not only that, through a centrifugal force, we can simulate an Earth-like gravity. So we can accommodate man on Mars through domes that have, we can accommodate man on Mars through a centrifugal force that simulates an Earth-like gravity and from special alloys that repel gamma rays and ultraviolet light and have the machines colonizing for us. So artificial intelligence in the right hands is the way forward. If we're going to reach the stars, it will be the machines that take us there. In the wrong hands, it will be used to control our minds, hack into our brain, as they're doing through our telephones and so forth.
Right. Okay, thanks, friends. Thanks, Mr. Manu, Mr. Javier, Mr. Anthony, everyone for accept my invitation and for this really great show. I will definitely ask you to join us for some other day, some other show for other topic, but obviously on AI only. And friends, we'll come back with some other known speakers across the world in our new episode of AI series. For then, goodbye. Thank you, everyone.